Here we are. We've reached the end of our journey. It is the final 2 episodes of the Attack on Titan series and our final episode of the Attack on Titan dub sub reviews. I want to thank you guys for watching up to this point. Or maybe you cheated and maybe you cut straight to the end, in which case, fuck you. But we need to get right into it because not only are we talking about 2 episodes, but we're talking about 2 of the most important episodes that have a big number of changes to them. We need to get into it. Peppered throughout the episode, they've made the same change several times. Initially, in the original English subtitle, whenever someone is talking to Eren and they're talking about their plan on how to handle Annie as the female Titan, the line always goes, Eren, you will assist us with this. Eren, you will assist with capturing her. You will provide assistance, etc., etc.
だが万が一その前に巨人化した場合、エレン、君に頼むことになる。
エレンは予定通り巨人になって捕獲に協力してもらう。いいよね。
Now in the English dub, they changed it. The first time that I noticed this, I didn't give it too much of a difference. I made a little note of it, but I didn't think too much of it. They have now changed it from Eren, you will provide assistance, and they've now changed it to Eren, she is your responsibility. Eren, she is up to you. Eren, we are leaving this to you.
If she transforms before reaching the tunnel, well, at that point she'll be your responsibility, Eren.
That means we're switching to Plan B. She's all yours, Eren. Got it? Yeah.
The original subtitle, what that means is considering Eren a teammate, working together, incorporating him into the plan. With the English dub, what the change seems to implicate is that the Survey Corps views Eren as just a tool, as not much more than just like their ace in the hole trump card. What they seem to be implying with this change in the English dub is that they are flat out just highlighting how poorly the Survey Corps treats Eren. I mean, at this point in the show, as a viewer, it doesn't take much to point out or to observe that Eren doesn't get to use his maneuver gear to kill Titans anymore, despite being really good at it. They seem to just view him as his value. They measure his value with how in control he is of his Titan form, and that's it. Again, maybe that's intentional. Maybe because I mean, again, the audience is fully aware of that. Maybe they're incorporating that into it. I don't know. Worth noting, interesting choice, not necessarily a bad one.
Hey, what happened? Is Plan A a no-go?
Okay, guys, when your plans to meet up with friends to go get frozen yogurt falls through, that is a no-go. When your mission to capture a sleeper agent within your last remaining human society falls through, that's a huge monumental fuck-up. That's not a no-go. This has nothing to do with the English dub choices in this. This happens in the story regardless, but I might not get another chance to talk about this again, so I'm going to talk about this now. When Eren goes to transform and he tells Armin and Mikasa to hug tight as he transforms...
Get in close! But... Alright, brace yourselves!
I always thought that was a really bad idea, because 2 seconds ago we saw what happened when you're holding on to somebody that turns into a Titan. Is that really such a good idea? Now, if you want to talk about line changes that are a detriment to the English dub, there is one that Mikasa has. When Annie crushes through the floor, and Armin and Mikasa, go into action to fight her, Mikasa in the original Japanese has a line that goes... This, of course, has double meaning. Of course, she means that she's not going to let Annie take Eren away again, but she also means emotionally. She's not going to let Annie take Eren away from her. Now, in the English dub, it's been changed to...
I won't let you take him! Not this time!
That kind of destroys any of the double meaning that was going on there. And considering the last few episodes, when characters will flat out say to Mikasa,
"Go save the man you love."
We all get that you love him, but try not to act crazy.
Considering how brash they've been in the past, I'm a little surprised that they wouldn't go with the original intention of the line and change it entirely. On the flip side, though, I can't tell you how happy I am that they're not using the line they fucked up of Armin's from a few episodes ago. If you'll remember from a few episodes ago, they changed one of the pivotal lines that Armin has that really demonstrates the theme overall of the show. They changed it and it lost a lot of its meaning.
If you can't let it go, it's not worth holding on to.
I was really pissed then because that line comes back later in this episode. But in the English dub, they completely forget that they just completely like shoving that off the side. Like, he didn't say that, he said this instead. Like, they're focusing on a different part of that speech, that little dialogue that he had, and I'm so glad they did.
To rise above monsters, we have to abandon our humanity.
It works really well. It doesn't, again, it still doesn't carry the same impact as in the original Japanese, but at least they didn't use the fucked up line from before. So far, like, we haven't had a chance a whole lot to talk about Hanji's English dub actress versus her Japanese voice actress. All in all, like, this moment here that she has with Annie is a pretty good comparison to make, because when she's happy and gleeful and stuff like that, it works in the Japanese subtitle. And the original Japanese dialogue, when she goes into her kind of creepier and downer modes, where she sends a chill up your spine, it still works.
お前を食い尽くす巨人も呼べない。でも大丈夫。代わりに私が食ってあげるよ。お前からほじくり返した情報をね。
That doesn't all carry over all the way with the English dub, I feel like. She's at her best when she is happy and gleeful and having fun and blah blah blah. Thrilled that Titans are running around.
No!
Ow, son of a bitch! That mother is hot when there's no skin! This is the best day in the history of science!
You're a maniac! You hear me? A maniac!
When she has to get downright creepy and weird, something about it just doesn't quite hit as hard.
So let's not waste that lovely singing voice. In fact, let's not waste anything. No, I'm going to read you like bullet trails. Every part of you has its own precious story to tell.
Which is weird because they've gone through the work of, in a lot of Hanji's scenes, if you go back and watch the English dub versus the original Japanese version, I've brought this up before, but they put a shine on her glasses so you can't see her eyes. That kind of dehumanizes her a little bit. It's all that more creepy. A lot of anime does it, a lot of comics do it, a lot of cartoons and things like that. It works. It says a lot without having to do a whole lot. It is disappointing then that the voice actress for the English dub can't quite pull off being serious. It feels like maybe there's a lack of direction going on there, because I don't feel like she ever kind of switches mode. She never really... It sounds like she's trying to be serious and creepy rather than being actually serious and creepy. There is a distinct difference. It's like when... I mean, I defend the Christian Bale Batman voice because it makes sense to me, but you do kind of get that parallel between trying too hard and trying to sound really dark and serious versus like Michael Keaton, who sounded dark and serious when he needed to. There is a distinct difference there. The obviously Attack on Titan fanboy, I really was looking forward... I really like hearing Eren just like belting out his voice and just... So when it gets to the final bravado moment of the episode and he's got to transform into his Titan form and take on Annie, the English dub buries his voice, Bryce Papenbrook's voice, under so many layers of filters that I don't even hardly hear his performance at all. And it's so disappointing because I like hearing that gut natural shout, that just pure unhindered scream of anger and passion. It's a shame because whether Bryce is really doing a really good job or not, I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know for sure. I can't hear it. For episode 25, slightly different matter. Because episode 25 is mostly action. There's not a whole lot of dialogue that actually happens. Again, I'm not a fan of altering the Titans' voices. Or at the very least, I'm not a fan of making all the Titans sound exactly the same. Annie and Aaron sound so, when in their Titan form, sound so similar that I don't hear two distinct animals. I just hear one long, constant noise that doesn't stop. If you were to, let's just listen to it. If you were blindfolded, you just covered your eyes and you listened to it, you'd have no idea that there were two separate beings on screen at the moment. Whereas with the Japanese with subtitles, you could. I mean, if you play the two clips back to back, you know which one is which. Here's the sound for the dialogue that's happening, and here's the sound of the impact from the punch in an action scene for something like this. What ends up happening, if you want the dialogue to be able to be heard, it has to go up. And that means that it's louder than the impact of the punch. When the sound for the impact of a hit in any kind of action thing, whether it's an anime or a movie, is not heard all that well, you do not, as an audience, feel that punch. The moments that make you kind of wince back and go, ooh, when like Jason Statham kicks a fire hose into somebody's crotch, is because you can hear the sound of it happening. In the original, the dialogue happens in between these sounds and the action moments, so that you get kind of a chance to take it all in. With this, there's way too much going on. They take the tone, the sound of the fight, and they tone it down, and they put the dialogue up. And that's not how it was before.
Stand your ground. Stand your ground, even if the whole world stands against you.
Also, still not a fan of Aaron's Titan voice, and I don't mean like the filter, I mean like his performance in general. It's very Gollum-y, very cartoony, and it's trying too hard. He needs to ground it a little bit more and not be quite so throaty with it.
Die! All of you! Everything!
That is a direct criticism of the dub, and I will be sticking to it. So far it sounds like I've done nothing but bitching about the episode 25. It's because I have. But I do admire the line change they made. Well, it's not really a line change, but in both the subtitle and the dub, Erwin has a line where he says,
Starting now, we launch an attack on the Titans within our walls.
It's in both versions, but in the English dub, they made it the last line of dialogue in the show. They make that kind of a note that we leave off on. I like that. It's a nice little touch. Especially considering what happens after in the after credits sequence. Now it comes down to the last 2 points of, this little thing that we're doing here. What I give them to? Well, I give them both to the original Japanese with subtitles. Even though, valiant effort in a lot of areas, some of the more important areas were not followed through with on the English dub. So now our final score of the original Japanese audio with the English dub. How does it stack up? Like, highlighting how poorly the Survey Corps treats Aaron in general. Thanks, dog, for barking at me and whatever is making you mad right now. Can't wait to reshoot this. So he's only mad when I get in front of the camera.